Welcome to the program. I'm State Representative Stephen Bloom. Approximately 8,000 Pennsylvanians are waiting for a life-saving organ, and tragically, every day, one of them dies waiting. Kemp is one of the fortunate ones who received both a donated kidney and pancreas. Let's spend 5 minutes discussing organ donation with him. Kemp, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Steve. Good to be here.
Can you tell us a little bit about what led to your experience with organ donation and how important it was for your life?
I had been a diabetic for approximately 35 years. One of the ravages of diabetes is it affects your kidneys. Well, about 3 years prior, I'd been told that my kidneys were on the verge of failure and that I could either pursue an organ transplant or go on dialysis, one or the other. My doctors at that time highly recommended that I go the transplant route because it restores some degree of normal functionality to your life. And in fact, it almost makes you completely normal.
Now, at this time, did you know anything about organ transplant process or how that might come about?
I had known a very little, but I immediately started educating myself. And the internet had just started to blossom. There were support groups on the internet, and I immersed myself in those to get some idea about what was going on.
And so what were the steps involved for you, and what might be the steps involved for someone else who is now finding themselves in the same position you were?
The first step was I was evaluated. I had a 3-day evaluation to ensure that otherwise I was healthy enough to support an organ transplant. It's major surgery. They slice you open. During that evaluation, they kind of looked at me and they says, you know, we don't believe that, if you wouldn't have told us that you had been a diabetic for 35 years, we'd never believed it. Have you considered a pancreas also? Which was the first time this was broached, because the pancreas took care of the issues I had as a diabetic, because all of a sudden I had a natural producing organ in my body to provide insulin for me. They liked it from the aspect that the new pancreas would keep my blood sugars at a normal level and would protect my new kidney. So it was a win-win for the doctors, and it was a win-win for me. They said, we look at it as a health issue. We know you as a patient look at it as a quality of life issue.
Now, Kemp, I know we've talked about this before, and it's an emotional subject for you, but can you say a little bit about the donor of your organs?
You're right, that is tough, because it's been 12 and a half years now, and I still think of my donor. And I was one of the ones that was extraordinarily lucky, and I got to meet my donor's family. And we developed a long and very great, close friendship. I considered Annette to be almost my mother. That was his mother, my donor's mom, because of the gift she gave. And this is a single mom. She's like in her mid-30s. Her 17-and-a-half-year-old son has been tragically killed in just one of those things that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yet she felt strong enough that that's what Ricky would want.
And she found some hope, I'm sure, in the fact that you're living through that tragedy.
She told me several years later one time, she says, you know, Kemp, as long as you're doing well and you're still alive, I know there's a little bit of Ricky still in place on this earth.
Kemp, thanks for sharing that. I know that's difficult. Would you have any words to encourage families that are facing these issues now, whether considering an option to donate or in need of a donation, and what perhaps we might be doing on the state level to assist in this whole process?
Organ donation truly is the gift of life. As statistics show, one person's decision to donate the organs of their loved one can affect 8 other people's lives. It is just a great gift, and it's a hard decision. There's no doubt about it. There's not a recipient in this world that doesn't understand that it's a very difficult decision. But from the recipient standpoint, we are just incredibly grateful to every donor family. I had the opportunity in 2000. I went to the U.S. transplant games. They were held in Florida. And they brought in all the teams first, and then they brought in all the representatives of the donor families, actual families who donated their organs, there was not a dry eye in that place. As we, as the recipients, it was a standing ovation. Everyone was up, clapping and crying, because the only reason most of us were there was because of the generosity of these folks. So on a state level, I truly support anything we can do to make it easier for families to donate, to encourage them to donate, to do more education programs so they understand just what they affect by their donation of organs. And the biggest thing is, many families that I have talked to who have made that decision find a great peace in it later on. There's no religion that prohibits organ donation. There's really none of those issues, but it is a very personal decision. And we do understand when families do not want to make that personal decision.
Okay.
My donor family said that she couldn't donate Ricky's eyes because they were the windows into his soul. And everyone...
Personal decision on her part.
And everyone was at great peace.
We're going to have to leave it right there. We're running out of time, but thank you so much. Thank you for sharing from the heart on these really difficult issues.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you. If you have comments or questions about this or any other topic, my contact information will be on the screen in a few seconds. I'm State Representative Stephen Bloom. Thank you for watching.